Here we go. And now I'll just wait until a car goes by and gives me good lighting. These headlights are not illuminating my screen at all. So, today, it is our first week of being a professional alcoholic. And essentially, I just have to give my opinion on the situation. Let's get my light on. So essentially, this is my first week of being a professional licensed alcoholic. And I have to say, so far it has been quite enjoyable. I've been drinking as normal. And I've got to say, they have been hitting much less than before. It's almost like now that I'm a professional, my tolerance has gone up to match. And maybe it's just in my head, and maybe I've just been drinking a lot. But it does seem like being a licensed professional alcoholic has a noticeable scientific effect on my alcohol tolerance. Unfortunately, I don't have alcohol of my own at home at the moment. What the fuck am I talking about? So I've been drinking the Long Drink, which is a brand of gin, canned gin, sold here in the United States. It is made, I do believe it's made in the United States, but it is a Finnish brand of alcohol. American made, but Finnish. And that's been my what's a good term? My poison of choice, my particular poison, that's my go-to. There's a Long Drink, black can, one pint. I'll take a little break here and have a sip of soju. I don't know if I mentioned that right now. I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but right now I'm actually drinking soju and not gin. However, I have had my Long Drink today. So we're doing a bit of mixing, which maybe I don't suggest. Does this work? This is a bit of an experimental time we're having here. Dripped a bit. It does burn. What does this look like? Oh yeah, completely blinded. Can you see anything? But that brings me back to the point of this video, which is the other day I purchased a pair of AirPods. Apple AirPod 4 is exactly what I have here. And this is the first video I'm making since getting those, so doing a bit of a test to see how well it picks up the audio, how well it doesn't pick up the fact that I'm holding my phone while recording. Hopefully if I switch which hand I'm holding my phone in like this, back and forth, hopefully you don't hear the sound of me grabbing my device. And I have to say my first impressions are quite positive. I haven't had a pair of earbuds in about a decade, so any experience I have would probably be positive. But I have to know just how exceptional they sound. I mean, I can hear absolutely every detail of the music that I'm listening to, every layer of the song, every instrument, and the bass is quite punchy. That's another thing I'll say, is it feels quite punchy. Even at a low volume, I can nearly feel the music in my ear when I'm using them. And I say this as someone who really doesn't listen to music that much. When I had a car, that was probably the only time I really listened to music. And now that I don't, it's basically never, save for the fucking work radio. And they do play some good music, but obviously I'd prefer to just listen to my own music for the day. There's someone up here ahead. Hello, hello. No idea what those guys were saying. Speaking some kind of Spanish language. I was thinking of hitting them with a hola. Hitting them with a little hola, but I wouldn't know what to follow up with after that. I don't actually speak any fucking Spanish. So while it might have been a kind way to greet them, I think my hello, hello, to which they didn't even acknowledge, which is fine, I think that was completely acceptable. Doesn't look very dark on camera, but it is already pitch black out here. Usually I'm here after 10, and then it is much notably darker, but not much more so than this. I mean, the sun's already down. But I gotta say, the camera makes it look like the sun's still in the sky. I mean, look, you can even see over there. Turn my light off for a minute. Let's look at how this looks on video. So in person, well, I guess it's not so different. It's very dark. I can't see the details of all of this. Maybe you can a little bit on video. I can see a bit of this down here, especially the side that's lit up over there. All the dirt. This is much more clear on camera. I mean, ahead of me, it's fairly dark. I can see where I'm going, but I will say it looks much darker to the eye. So I'm kind of surprised by this. Like, look at that. It looks like I could just walk right up there. That is fucking dark. I mean, this is all lit up by those lights. I would love to walk around if there was like a power outage. That would be really interesting to see. Something else interesting is the fact that up here there should be a spot where I can stop and take a drink. Feels like about that time. Look at those lights. That's the top of a mountain. Not that one up there, but those that are just above the skyline. Let's zoom in. That's a mountain. Doesn't it look weird? I don't know how it looks on camera, but it's just completely flush with the night sky. And that's why those lights are there, obviously, for the planes, but isn't that weird? If this planet didn't have light, like, I could go my whole life living down here in the valley without ever knowing that there's just mountains all around. Isn't that weird? I guess it's not that weird because we live on a planet with a star that lights us up every day. Excuse me. One thing that might be interesting that I could make a YouTube video about is geocaching and my experience with geocaching. And in fact, there's a geocache somewhere over there. Somewhere within the field of view of the camera right now, there is a geocache. And I have not found it. But that would be a good topic for a video. For now, let's talk about my experience with geocaching and how I learned about it in the first place. So like I said, I don't have a car right now. Right now I get around using my Chevrolets. But I guess it's been about a year now. A year ago, I did have a car. It's my daily driver. You know, why do I even need to mention the fact that it's my daily driver? I'm a fucking 25-year-old, of course. My car is my daily driver because I don't own multiple vehicles. Let's set this camera up. Doesn't really seem like anyone's around. This. Should I risk it? I already dropped my phone once today. There's no reason to do something like that. Sorry. Sorry if that was loud. This is good enough. Here we are on top of the mesa. And what was I saying? Used to have a car. I don't have a car now. Get around on my Chevrolets. When I did have a car, my favorite hobby would have to be shooting and firearms and tactical gear. And when I first moved out from my parents, because they moved out of the state, I had to figure it out after that. Because I didn't want to move to Texas, which is where they moved. I didn't want to move to Texas. I wanted to stay here in Nevada. So after they moved, I had to figure it out on my own. I moved in with my friends, and my main hobby would have to be shooting and firearms, tactical gear, the outdoors. I don't do much camping, although I've used to go many times as a kid. I'd love to get back into that. And I would go out to the desert. I was working at Burger King at the time, fucking fast food job, Burger King. And I would save up my money, all my money other than rent. And that's what I would do, is I would go out to the desert. At the peak of it, it was once a week, but that didn't last very long because I didn't make the money to try to be going out once a week to the fucking middle of the desert, shooting in the garbage, not getting much training value out of the rounds that I was shooting. Although most of the time I would go out there and I would just walk. I would walk away from my truck, just off into the desert towards the mountains. I would go up the hill as far as I could and come back to my truck when I'm fucking tired. Why did I bring this up? Used to go out into the desert once a week at the peak, shooting. Hiking. Why did I bring this up? I would like to get back to that, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know what I'm trying to say because I don't fucking remember. What point were you trying to fucking make? Geocaching. So one day I was out there. I walk away from my truck. There's fireworks going off over there. Today is every time I think of the months, I go back to kindergarten and I think of the fucking month song, which was to the tune of the Macarena. January, February, March, April, May, June. That's a 6 month. Therefore, this is June. It's June 6th today. I don't know if there's a holiday particularly going on. There's a bunch of fireworks going on over there. I might as well record this. What am I doing? Actual fucking nude. Can we see that? Oh yeah. Random little fireworks going on over there. I don't know what's going on with that. But, back to the story. Because I finally remembered what I'm talking about. So I used to go out there, just into the middle of the desert. I would go southwest of Vegas. A little less than an hour's drive out of town. I won't go into too much detail. I would walk away from my truck towards the mountain. And on this day, I just started walking up the mountain. I don't go up a trail or anything. I just think, I want to walk to that mountain that I see. And then I walk there, and then I think I'll go up as far as I can. And so I did. And I went up probably not more than... That's a lie. It was definitely higher than the amount I just climbed up onto this mesa, because that only took a couple minutes. This was much steeper, no trail, just kind of walking up the rocks. And I get onto this ridge like this, and it's so windy up there. Wind's blowing. Got a beanie, I've got gloves. I don't remember what month this happened in. It was cold because it was windy, not because it was particularly cold out. And I get up there, and it kind of flattens out. And I remember I couldn't go too much higher because the mountain went up and it flattened out, and then after that it kind of dropped down before going up again on the ridge that I was on. So, flat part, and I see some stacks of wood. Sorry, I tried to record those fireworks again. They're kind of intermittent. They're still going though. I get up there, I see, it looks like a nest. And not like a bird's nest, although that's what it reminds me of. It just seems like a nest where maybe something was happening at some point, because obviously no one was up there. And I walk up to it, and I see this jar. Well, it looks like a pipe sticking out of the ground, really. I think to myself, what is this? Because I've seen some interesting things out in the desert that I'll have to get into in other videos. But I get up there and I see this sticking out the ground. I think, what is this? And it obviously immediately catches my attention as something that was placed there to be seen. It was clearly placed there to be seen. Even though I didn't have any concept of geocaching, which is what we're talking about. Fucking spoiler alert. Except I already brought it up at the beginning of this before forgetting about it. Looks like those fireworks are done. I bet there was a finale, but all I see now is the smoke kind of slowly drifting away. And I go up to this thing, and there's a jar sticking out of the ground. So I'm like, that's fucking weird. And I pick up this jar thinking, this is about to be... I don't even know what I was thinking at that point. This was a while ago at this point. It's years. But I pick it up and I'm thinking, I was like stressed. You know, I just walked up this random hill. I found this jar in this fucking sniper's nest. That's what it seemed like to me. And I'm like, what is this about to be? And I opened it up just to see papers and a pencil. Just papers and a pencil. It was not quite a notebook, but it was sort of a makeshift notebook to where there was papers in there. I'll just go ahead and say there's papers in there so that anyone who finds it can, you know, notarize that they found it. They can write down in the paper, you know, hey, I was here on this day. Fucking geocached. And so that's how I found out. It was like a paper, and it was a sort of printed out paper that had these, you know, lines already on it, and it said some shit like geocaching.com. Whatever the website is, it said that. So I discovered the website after that, and I realized this is like a whole thing. This is a thing that people do. So I have the photo somewhere because I was so baffled that I just found this in the middle of nowhere. I didn't go seeking it out. I didn't even know about it prior to going out there and finding it. And I just found this activity, this side quest, which presumably other people had gone seeking out on the top of this hill that I had randomly walked up. And now that I am recalling this, I need to go up there and find it and find my original message. That would be fire. So I'll have to make a video about that. Going up to the top of the fucking mountain and finding my fucking thing. Yeah, there's people coming. A couple of rowdy teenagers or something. We'll see. So I went ahead and made myself known by shining my light around. They're just trying to find their way down from the trail. I feel so sketchy sitting here doing this. I seem like a homeless vagrant or something. Let's get intimate. That's about all I had to say, though. Thinking of this story about the geocaching, it was an afterthought. What was I originally making this video about? It was the AirPods. So my initial thoughts on the AirPods. I have to say, it's quite an enjoyable experience having earbuds. It's been about a decade since I've had earphones or earbuds, because I had a Galaxy S8. That was my phone. Galaxy S8, that was the first phone that I had that didn't have the headphone jack, I believe. I don't think it has a headphone jack. Galaxy S8, I don't believe it had a headphone jack. So that was when, at that time, I had wired headphones and they became obsolete. And since then, since the Galaxy S8, which, let me think. I had the S8 up until 2019. And then there was some stuff. The next phone I had was the Galaxy S20 FE, I believe. S20 FE. That sounds about right. I may be mistaken in that, but I went from the S8 to the S20 FE. And during that time, I just didn't have earbuds. So the S20 FE I've had, until from 2020-ish until now. And as of recording this, it's obviously the 6th month of 2026. I already went through the Macarena song one time in this video, and I'm not going to do it again. So whatever the 6th month is, that's the month that it is today. Don't tell me these people turned around. It's not a difficult trail to navigate. And that was a very mean to say. That was a very mean thing to say. Those people will be fine. They'll find their way. So I had the Galaxy S20 FE until, let's say, 5 months ago. Because 5 months ago, or however long it was ago, at work, over the course of that phone's lifetime, I dropped it some amount of times, and it held up very, very well. I have to say the S20 FE, and I'll have to double check that is the phone that I had. The phone that I had. That phone held up amazingly well. That thing was nigh indestructible for the years that I had it. Until it wasn't. Because one day at work, let me backtrack. So, I've been walking home from work. I've been walking to and from work intermittently. Sometimes I'll walk to, sometimes I'll walk from. At the moment, it's summertime, so I take the bus to work and then I walk home at night. As why these videos have been at night at the Mesa Trail, the Whitney Ranch Mesa Recreational Trail. In the summertime, these videos may be very different, where I'm walking to work in the morning in the wintertime. Did I say that? In the wintertime. It'll be very different, and then I'll be walking in the morning, in the daytime. So that will be my free time, is the daytime. Whereas right now, I spend most of my free time at night, after work. In the wintertime, I'll spend most of my free time in the morning before work. Because if I pay for I'm going off track. I don't even remember what I was talking about, but let's just continue. If I pay for a month-long, I think it is, bus pass, it's XYZ amount of money. And then I save money because I just take it, I pay for cash. I pay for the bus in cash every time. I pay in cash every time because if I pay for a bus membership, what's it called? A bus pass. It's slightly more expensive than if I just pay half of the day. Because if I take the bus one way and I walk the other way, either to or from, I save money compared to the month-long pass because paying in cash once a day. It's not like I pay with cash twice a day. That would be inefficient. Obviously, then I would do the pass. But if I only take it once a day and I walk the other way, I essentially save money. And all of those words were to say that I save money by not getting a pass and I pay with cash every time. Because I don't go both ways on the bus every day. And what I was talking about that led me to this was these people on the trail couldn't find their way. 31 minutes. This is already shaping up to be a long video. And I have to say, if by some fucking miracle you're still watching this, you're an absolute fucking legend. Look at that. Those 3 lights in the sky are planes coming into the McCarran International Airport. It's been renamed something else now. Don't fucking ask me. It's been McCarran my entire life. What was I talking about? So, I discussed discovering geocaching, and I discussed my time taking the bus and not taking the bus. I'm assuming that I'm still recording audio because I haven't heard it. So I'm very new to using these Apple AirPods. I don't have an Apple phone, as has been discussed in this video. I have a Galaxy S25. I believe it's just Galaxy S25. I don't believe I have any other model. Just the S25. And this is the first Apple product I've really owned in a decade. So I don't know if it's going to say battery low. Battery low. Low battery warning. I don't know if it's going to give me some kind of warning or what before it dies. I haven't experienced that yet. So that'll have to come in the full review, I think. This could be a good thumbnail, considering most of the video is just me sitting here. Random beer bottle cap. And that's not littering because it was already out here. Trust me, Nah. I'll pick it up. Because I noticed it, I'll pick it up. I've got some trash out here already. And you know what? I've been sitting here a while. And this is a bad habit that I've been getting into. So let's go ahead and light up an American Spirit Blue cigarette. Because, especially today, for some fucking reason, I've been really indulging in my bad habits. So let's fucking get it. And I gotta say, I don't have much experience smoking cigarettes, but these smell fucking amazing. And they taste okay. They smell amazing and they taste okay. We're at 35 minutes. Fucking A. There's absolutely no cohesion to this video. So, gosh. Oh, you know what? What is this? What is this shine? Right here. Is that my eye? If you're watching this video, tell me if that's my eye. Fucking windy. What the hell? There's Zippo. Looks lit to be. I have successfully slobbered all over the fucking filter. So far. I gotta say, cigarettes, I could say so far, I only enjoy tobacco while I'm drinking. Other than that, I fucking hardly feel it. Unless I have, the only tobacco, okay. How did I get the filter so fucking wet? Feels like I'm sharing a blunt. I used to have this friend who I buy weed, marijuana from. He was my friend in high school, and he lived in the same apartment complex as me as an adult. So I buy weed from him. And when I would go over to buy, we would chill out and smoke. Excuse me. One thing I've noticed about tobacco is that it makes me spit like nothing fucking else. Even if it's just a blunt, I've noticed that makes me spit so much more than just smoking weed. And I have to acknowledge, I've been smoking cigarettes because I'm easily influenced. by the YouTube videos that I watch. And one of my favorite YouTubers recently is Jacob fucking Jones. And this isn't meant to be a call out or anything, but I am definitely influenced by the things that I consume. The thing that I consume the most is YouTube. Which is maybe why I'm making YouTube videos now. And pretty much, I just want to make the type of video that I would like to put on in the background. Because that's the way that I consume YouTube, is while I'm playing video games or while I'm really while I'm just sitting in my room. That's what I like to do, is I put on YouTube and I watch YouTube. It's like TV for my generation. Because my family gave up cable a long time ago, when I was young. I was still young when we gave up cable. And I've just never looked back. So YouTube is what I consume. And it influences my decisions. As any other person, I decide what to do in my life, what to purchase, based on what I see. For example, I watch a lot of gun YouTube. All their advertisements are the same fucking companies: Americana Pipe Dream, Varsta, maybe less now. So I've been watching a lot less of that now. I've been expanding my horizons. I don't think I ever finished the story. This cigarette is as wet as the fucking blunts that Jacob would hand me. Jacob being my friend, who I was discussing earlier, and I don't think I ever finished the story. What I was trying to say is, he was always fucking wet-lipping the blunt. And before I lit this, I got it very wet. And that's what it was reminding me of, is fucking when he would hand me the blunt and it's all fucking wet of his saliva. And I would still smoke it. And that says something about society. Right? Cigarettes are about done. The flavor, I don't fucking know. I'm no cigarette connoisseur. But when I watch Jacob X Jones, he describes the cigarettes as nutty. And I think that's the flavor that I'm experiencing now, is nuttiness. This is an American Spirit Blue. Was an American Spirit Blue. Now I'm going to throw this away. I think I was already talking about this earlier. I was about to litter something earlier. No, I wasn't. I was about to ignore litter earlier. But as someone who frequently spends their time picking up trash at my workplace. It's simply... Uh-oh. We're about out of soju. This is about to be the last drink. Let's get this. Get a little shot here. Maybe this could be the thumbnail. Not even... Not even enough for a sip. Let's finish this video out. So, littering is wrong. Ignoring litter is wrong. Almost walked away. Threw that away. This is the little walkthrough I go through. I've got my phone, obviously, in my hand. Wallet. Keys. 2 pairs of keys. Light. It's on my fucking hat. Here we go. Knife. Pens. 3. Pen. I threw it away earlier. Benjamin. Weed. Threw it away earlier because it was out. Pens, pen, lighter. Cigarettes are in my bag. That's about it. That's all I've got on me. And that's the order that I go through my items. Let's record the rest of this. That's the process that I go through my items. I go phone, wallet, keys, light, knife, pens, pen, lighter, cigarettes. Those have been extra because unfortunately I've picked up this fucking disgusting habit of smoking cigarettes. And I'm really trying. That's where I was going with this. I've been heavily influenced by the YouTube that I watch. But I'm trying not to make that a regular habit. I'm not trying to get addicted to cigarettes. No one could say that I am already addicted to cigarettes. Considering I woke up this morning, I went to the gas station to fulfill my other addictions. I immediately got some gin, my long drink. I smoked some cigarettes. I smoked 3 cigarettes while I was drinking my first drink of the day. So maybe you could say that I'm already addicted to cigarettes. But if I'm being quite honest with myself, I'm not trying to make it a habit. I've bought 2 packs of cigarettes already. I've bought the Lucky Strike Golds, and I've bought the Americana Pipe Dream, the American Spirit Blue. I've bought the American Spirit Blue, and I prefer those compared to the Lucky Strikes. I will say the only reason I bought the Lucky Strikes is because it's in fucking Tarkov. I don't know if I even got the right pack compared to the one that's in Tarkov. But that's why I've purchased that one. And I have to say, even though I've bought 2 packs, I haven't, well, maybe combined, I don't think I even have finished 1 pack at this point. I still have several being half the pack of the American Spirits. I've probably smoked half of that one, as they are currently preferable for me compared to the Lucky Strikes. And I've smoked 2 or 3 of the Lucky Strike cigarettes. But I'm really not trying to make it an addiction. It's not something I'm trying to get myself addicted to. Whether or not I'm already addicted is another story. Tomorrow on my day off, I'll simply not smoke a cigarette and manage my addiction. This is another topic for a video, is addiction. Addiction is a powerful thing. Addiction is a powerful thing. And that's the title for a video. So stay tuned. I don't really have much else to say. I think I've expressed pretty much everything I wish to express today. And we're almost out of the mesa. So, from here, I'll say goodbye. Have a wonderful night.